Hello, everyone. Hey, guys. How's everyone doing tonight? Hey, I just literally clicked live, Karen, as you popped up. So
there you go.
Perfect.
Perfect timing. Literally perfect timing.
And I got people coming into my house and in and out, and so my dogs are going crazy. So if I suddenly mute myself, that'll be why.
Okay, no worries. No worries.
And I'm still at work and expecting a couple of important phone calls. So if I suddenly mute myself, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. Well, what happens if I mute myself? No, I'm just kidding.
Live stream's going to be super boring.
Just be silence and just watch us. Okay, guys, so how's everyone doing? Did you guys watch our episodes? Anyone in the chat?
I did.
Did you?
I'm hoping you all did. Hello, everybody. We got a lot of cool people in the chat. We got Exploring Harley. We got Wolf Haunts, who says she has to go back to work. Let's see. Mike B, Antoine in the house. Tennessee Paranormal. Sharon is in the house. Saw a few others. How are y'all doing? Yeah, our episodes on Mackay Mansion are finally over. We both released supersized episodes for you guys. Allie is in the house. Hello, Allie. But that brings to a close all of our content for our trip to PEX.
Which is kind of sad.
It is a little sad. But we managed to had it going for quite a while, which is nice.
Yeah.
But it was fun every other week to kind of revisit that trip.
Mm-hmm. We should have just filmed when we were in the Red Dog, the Wash Show Club bar. We should have filmed all that. That's my chihuahua. Sorry, guys.
There you go.
Yeah, that would have made really good content.
It would have. It would have made content, all right. But one of the things I've learned, when I'm traveling and doing these ghost hunts and these big trips, is sometimes you gotta not film. Sometimes you just have to enjoy being there and enjoy the people you're with and do something that's not quote unquote making content. We make enough content.
Yeah. So I just saw Crow jumped in the chat. Hello, Crow. Hello.
Good to see you all.
Oh, awesome, Loz. Thank you. I showed Karen, but I'm over 2,000. I'm 2,044 hours of watch time, which jumped me. That was a good amount that jumped me, actually.
It's amazing that everybody decided to watch your episodes. Whoa.
I just bounce it. And I also just realized that my newest episodes of Mackay Mansion were in my playlist. So I just added those to my playlist. So now they should be.
I'll have to watch again.
Yeah.
There you go.
But thank you.
You're good.
Yeah, the episodes were fun. It was fun to take you guys along on that journey with us. Up next for my channel, I've got some more cemetery videos coming up. I got a cemetery video this week, and then the week following will be a return to an investigation video with my son Paul. We have at least 1 to 2 episodes at the next location, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, that's what I got coming up. What about you, Weeping Willow Paranormal?
Well, so next week, I don't know where he is, Croak, but so next week I have the Collingwood Mansion first episode. So that is me and Reese on that one. Ron wasn't able to go to that one because of childcare issues, because it was overnight and it was middle of the week. So it was kind of hard he had to worry about work in the morning and childcare and all that jazz. So, but that location is probably gonna be a 2 to 3 parter, because we were there from 9 o'clock at night to 5 in the morning. So it was a long one.
We know how that is.
Home after that. So that was.
That's the worst.
Yeah,
that is one of the worst things when it comes to doing paranormal investigation. When you have to drive home afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, because you're just drained. You have no energy left. Not only is it super, super late and you're tired anyway, but you've been on this adrenaline high for multiple hours, and it's finally going to crash down on you. And now you have to drive home an hour. Ugh. It's one of the things I hated about investigating in Virginia City when we weren't staying in Virginia City. Totally fine when you're staying in Virginia City. But when you're done investigating in Virginia City and you have to drive that windy road back to Reno to get home, oh my gosh, it's so terrible.
It's terrible when you are awake.
I know.
So when you're half asleep, it's not so good.
It's true.
Yeah. And that, it wasn't just, sorry.
No, I was just going to say it's a very pretty drive. Like if you're not driving, if you're a passenger and you've got the time, it's beautiful. Like away you go. But yeah, when you're driving, it was
all back roads too where we were for that location too, and it snowed that morning. Like we woke up and I had to uncover the car with snow and stuff. So I mean, it wasn't horrible, but yeah, it was good. It was a very fun location, so I'm kind of excited to get that one out. But then I have nothing filmed, so I have to start banking up episodes because I've been relying on Virginia City's episodes for so long that I need to get back.
And you guys have had like ridiculous weather, so it's not like you could pop out and do stuff. Plus, you got work, plus family. Like that's one of the things that really, when people like our content and they want our content on a weekly basis, it's like, well, at some point we have to actually have a real life. We have to see to our families and work. And, we don't have the funds to go and get a place to investigate because most of the places you guys are going to want to see, we have to pay for to get into. And so like, that's kind of like where we rely on people to help out with like channel memberships and donations and all that kind of stuff to help keep those things going. But sometimes you run up against that wall where you're just like, and I have no content. And so you have to put out more live streams and you have to maybe like do some reruns or some compilations. You have to start getting creative with your content when you're not able to go out and actively investigate. That sucks.
Maybe I should do a full bobblehead feature. Everybody can be in it, from Sean to Cody to Jason, and it can just be a movie-length premiere of bobbleheads having an investigation.
And a part of the issue too, being in Canada in the winter, so I can go to locations, like outdoor locations, but I'm fighting the cold. So that's another issue because obviously, like you said, Jason, a lot of locations are expensive, but then you have to. So that's why I like a lot of really great free locations, but you're fighting the weather, especially in the winter. So, but I did just saw some more people just jumped in. So I saw Rican. Hello, Rican. Thank you for joining.
Hello, Rican.
Ollie, and then Sandra Pink. She's also Canadian, so that's pretty cool. I don't know if I said hi to Sharon, but hello, Sharon. Tony, there was a minor earthquake in Korea. Eek. That's one thing we don't have to worry about is earthquakes where we are.
Don't you have them?
Not like to make anything like not huge.
I haven't felt any here in Queensland. I'm sure they have them. When I lived in Victoria, it was not a normal thing, but at least possibly once a year, you'd get a tremor or something. It's kind of cool when they roll through. It sounds like a semi-truck coming through your bedroom. Just this big rumble. Yeah, it's really cool. Ollie, I saw Ollie's comment there before about what did she say? I enjoy the places you and he who shall not be named stopped at on the roadside more than the famous places. They've been done to death, so places that don't cost you anything are just as good. And I'll let Jason comment on why places that don't cost you anything, although interesting, are quite dangerous, aren't they, Jason?
Yeah, just finding random places off the side of the road is a pain to deal with for a few reasons. One, there is generally little to no history on those locations, which means that you're just urban exploring at that point. You are not paranormal investigating. There's no stories. You're making it up as you go along. And that's what I found in my previous investigations of, I can't really trust what's going on because I don't know the history of the place. Yes, it's free, but is it legit? No clue. No clue at all. Second, me and Karen just had this conversation of sometimes you wander into these abandoned places on the side of the road, and you know what you find? People. You find people in there. Homeless people, people who are squatting, anything like that. So that's dangerous just in and of itself, especially if you're going super, super late at night under the cover of darkness. 3, generally you are trespassing. We don't know who owns those places. We don't own those places. Even if there's no signs up to say no trespassing, you are going onto property you don't own without permission. You are trespassing. I would prefer not to. And I always had a problem with doing that. And there were a couple times when I was told we had permission and found out later we definitely did not. And most of these places, they're so decrepit and run down, and like you're risking falling through a floor, you're risking stepping on rusty nails. Like it's not safe to do that. So those are a few reasons why I would prefer not to do the quote unquote free things. Because there's a lot of gray area in there, guys. And while some people choose to say like, I'm fine with living in the gray area and, asking for forgiveness rather than permission, that's not really how I want to do things.
Yeah. I just saw our baller. You're 40 minutes from Canada. Where?
I'm almost Canadian, he says.
Also, guys, if you have a question, please if we haven't answered it, keep mentioning it too. Also, if you have any questions about our episodes that we just premiered, so Jason was on Wednesdays, ours was on Thursday. Both very long episodes, both very similar content, the same content, but different angles. But I have to say, you have to watch Jason's episode of the slow motion of me freaking out, because I was watching it and crying. I had tears running down my face from laughing so hard, because obviously in the moment, it's pure terror on my face. But I was just laughing because it was hilarious.
And even though even though it's different angles and everything, it's actually like a different face.
Oh God! What am I doing here? Yeah, she's messaging me. She's like, I am crying right now, and I'm just like, well, check out this photo.
But yeah, the content, although the same, is different. Yes, it's same content in regard to you were both filming in the same room at the same time. Yes, it's different angles, but Cassie picked up things that Jason didn't. Jason picked up things that Cassie didn't. And there were a few different editing points where it wasn't the same. Gosh, guys, don't complain. You're getting content.
Nobody's been complaining.
I'll go Karen on them.
When people say hey, recall. When people say things like, you should go to the free places on the side of the road rather than the most famous places because we're getting tired of seeing those places. I understand that. I understand the fact that everybody goes to this place, that place, and the other place. I get that. But I think one way to look at it is I may be seeing this same location, but now I'm seeing it through different eyes. I'm seeing it through the eyes of Jason as an investigator, or Cassie as an investigator, or I'm seeing it through the eyes of someone who's never been there before and has very little investigative history, like Karen or Ron. So I think that's how you should look at it when you're watching, quote unquote, another video from that another place I've seen 100 times, is focus less on the location so much as the investigative style and how each investigator approaches said location. Because I think we all do it a little differently. Some people they go in at an 11. Their excitement level is so huge, and they bring that excitement level in there. And some people are very like us. We're kind of quiet. We're our energy level's at a 5. And I think that's what kind of separates those types of videos.
Yeah, no, I agree. Also, I just saw Arden came in here. Arden, I'm actually going to be on her channel for an interview next Sunday at 3 p.m., I believe, Eastern. There is Levy about to add to the stream. Hello.
Oh, bringing the sex appeal. Look at that.
So, as you guys know, Levy also was in our episodes. And then he also released his episodes earlier. So, you have to go his Mackay Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
So, I wanted to bring us all together because it was our finalness. I'm like,
it kind of sucked because we were at Mackay Mansion. And if you watch at least my episodes and Cassie's, Levy and Kathy are there like the first half, and then they suddenly just disappear. Yeah, that's because they were at Mackay Mansion with us, investigating late into the night, and then they had to go catch a plane. Like they had to go and pack everything up and start their traveling home while we continued investigating. So like, talk about when we're sitting here complaining about like, oh, we investigated and then drove home, and oh, what a pain in the butt. These guys had to fly across the country.
Yeah,
like come on, that's a pain.
Yeah, plus I was falling asleep too. I was so tired. That PAX.
Oh yeah, everybody was tired.
Yeah.
And Levy, when Levy was watching your episode, Cassie, because Ron was on that side, I was poking fun at him because he was falling asleep. But gosh, it was so cute.
I don't even hear because that was the
he's just going like this, and the camera's going like this, and then Cassie going, push the camera back up, and the camera go like this again, push the camera back up.
Because you guys don't even understand. Like we had spent all weekend go. Like this was the very last thing we did before, because this was Saturday night, right?
Yeah.
And so we had been going for like on full blast since like Thursday, really. Yeah. Because all of us were hanging out, me and Karen and Cassie and Ron, and then the event started, and it was from the moment you woke up.
I'll mute myself.
From the moment you woke up to the moment you went to sleep, you were interacting with people. You were walking around Virginia City all over the place. You were investigating. You were at a 10 energy level for so long. And then like the very last thing we decided to do is like, let's stay up all night, investigate Mackay Mansion. Like we were all exhausted.
Yeah.
And that night, I also did the hotel. So at the hotel, that's why I'm straight away. So it was a tour investigation at one time. So yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was great. I'll do it again. But I need to rest at least 2-3 hours before we start. And then,
at least 2-3 hours.
At least.
I'll be right back, guys. I will be 1 second.
Right.
Okay. I might as well because I missed a lot of people in the chat because it was like flying by. So hello, Sabrina. Thank you for joining. I'm trying to think what else. If I missed anything here, I'm just scrolling up. Yeah, guys, if you have any questions, just pop them in the chat. Michael, hello, Michael. You probably already said Michael. Because I'm not monetized or anything, but I'm drinking a beer, guys. Actually, who would probably be Arden and Harley? I don't know if Harley's still in the chat. This is up near Kingston. You guys got to check out this brewery. Just saying. I can actually drink it, which is weird because I don't drink beer.
Okay.
There you go.
Where's Ron?
The what brewery?
Ron. Where's Ron?
Oh, where's Ron? Oh, I thought you said brewery. I think he's on the phone with his best friend from Pennsylvania.
I love his
Whoa.
I know.
I'm sorry. I thought I was his best friend. No phone call. That's weird.
Yeah. I know. No,
it's okay. I'll get over it. I'll find some different Canadian bacon.
I know.
Get some American bacon. There's a brewery called
Harley.
Skeleton Park Brewery, Arden.
There is?
That's a great name. I'm a big sucker for like cool brewery names. I was just at a brewery.
You guys heard of the Golden Monkey IPA?
No.
It's a beer. It's pretty awesome.
I don't drink IPAs anymore. I really enjoy a very hoppy beer. So like IPAs, I really enjoy them. But at some point, for some reason, like my body just said, no, I'm not accepting any of this anymore. Because if I drink like just a can of an IPA or whatever, my whole stomach just says goodbye. Like I feel so sick, and like it sucks so bad because it's like IPAs. So I have to stick with like stouts and porters. I'm currently drinking a Kolsch style ale, which is a lighter beer. I've also got an amber lager here. So those are the beers I have to stick with. I can pretty much do anything except for IPAs. It kind of sucks.
Oh. Sabrina, I just made you a wrench, so now you're blue, not gray.
Raquel says, Cassie, you broke Jason's heart telling him Ron has a best friend that's not Jason. It's true. It's true. Cat Lady says, to me, beer smells and tastes the way urine smells, so I don't know how anyone drinks it. You want to know what's weird? One, I think beer is an acquired taste. If you become someone who enjoys drinking a variety of beers and all that it's an acquired taste. You want to, when you mention urine, you want to know what smells like urine to me? That's super weird, and every time I'm just like, ugh, just keep it away. Cheerios.
Oh,
for some reason, the cereal Cheerios. If my kids, who all like Cheerios, and I'm talking like plain Cheerios, the second they put it in a bowl and pour milk on it, all I smell is pee. I'm just like, what is that? Like, I don't understand why that is.
That is actually pretty accurate. Like, I always like. I don't like the smell of it, but I never like. That's interesting.
You could put your finger on it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Arden. Apparently, it's their favorite cereal.
Sorry, I have to like scroll down, but it's near Kingston. Okay, Kingston is only 4 hours from me.
There you go.
So that's where Ron worked for 4 years on my yeah. The thing I find about I'm like way backed up in the chat, right?
Whose dog is that?
Not mine.
Is Karen's mic still? I don't know. Or is that Levy?
Is it me?
So my dog is snoring, so.
She's cracking up for that.
That noise.
Yeah.
That's Levy. As long as I know where it's coming from.
I think I'm like, I just assumed it was you, Jason.
My dogs are finally quiet.
I
don't feel bad because Raquel says Cheerios does indeed smell like pee. Thank you. I'm so glad I'm not the only one.
Yeah, you can think about it,
yeah.
There used to be like a coffee shop, like a hipster coffee shop back in Reno when I lived there. It hasn't been around for a very long time, but it was a cool little dark atmosphere kind of hippie bar. But one of the things on their menus was bottomless bowls of Cheerios. So you could go there, have some coffee and stuff, sit there, and you could have as much Cheerios as your little heart desires. It was like $5, and it's just like all the Cheerios you can eat. And we had friends. We would go sit there. We would have a couple coffees and stuff, and we'd have like 3 of our friends that would just sit there and eat Cheerios the entire time.
Wow.
That is when I noticed it smelled like pee.
No, I have a question about cereal. So corn pop for you guys, are they flat or are they round?
Round.
Corn pops?
Corn pops. Because I saw it somewhere. I don't know if because I saw somewhere that wasn't like they weren't round. They were more flat for you guys in the States, but round for us.
Like, are you talking like Pops? The cereal Pops? Yeah. Like, they're not round as far as I know. They're like, they kind of look like popcorn kernel shaped.
Yeah.
So they are a little flat.
They're like completely round, like little balls, and they like cut your mouth open.
Yeah, Ollie says they are corn shaped and puffy.
Yeah, not here.
Like for me, I haven't had Pops in forever. I used to like them a lot. Those aren't the ones that messed up my mouth. Captain Crunch, Crunch Berries, Peanut Butter Crunch, whatever flavor of Captain Crunch you want. That does nothing but tear apart your face. Like, and unfortunately it's good, but like I can't eat it anymore because it's just like, nope, you're done. So the cereals that make the rotation in my house is Cheerios, unfortunately, mini wheats, the various flavors of frosted mini wheats. I like Golden Grams. Lucky Charms is a good one that pops through every once in a while. And then we will randomly have like a super sugary cereal that floats through every once in a while.
Yeah.
Depending on, like, for instance, the last one was like Pokemon cereal. The kid sees Pokemon cereal in the aisle, and he's just like, "Well, we got to have that." But I do like me some Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's a favorite. I really like that.
Yeah.
And Frosted Flakes with sliced bananas. That is my jam.
Huh. Do you like Frosted Flakes? Oh my gosh, I just lost my train of thought.
Cereals.
Oh, Lucky Charms. So when because I grew up on only able to eat Rice Krispies or Cheerios. We never had sugary cereals in the house. So when I got to college, the first cereal I bought was Lucky Charms.
You're like, I'm an adult and you can't tell me what to do.
No, and that's what I bought. Like, I remember the cappuccino powder, those little containers. I don't know if I bought that. There was a bunch of stuff I bought I was never allowed to have. I was such a dork when I was like, I'm out of the house. Like,
everybody else is like, I'm out of the house. It's cocaine for me. And she's like, Lucky Charms, guys. I'm a rebel. I feel like I'm breaking the law. People are like, what? Lucky what?
Oh my gosh, grape nuts.
I like grape nuts, but here's the problem with grape nuts. They're just rocks. So I literally have to pour a bowl of grape nuts, pour enough milk so that it covers the grape nuts up, and then you just let it sit for like 5 minutes until suddenly you can't see any milk because the grape nuts have absorbed all the milk, and then it's just mushy. Then I can eat it. Otherwise, you're just asking for broken teeth.
What's a grape nut?
It's a cereal that's just these really rock hard pebble like things. I know it doesn't sound good. They're good the way I eat them. I don't know how other people eat them.
That's funny.
I don't know how people can just like dump some milk and start chewing because you're just wrecking your face.
Are you tired, Levy?
Yeah, it's been a long. I just came back from that road trip. I had to I had that manor, and then I had that residential. So I'm tired of it.
No. Well, don't fall asleep.
I'll try not to. It's Ron's fault. He was literally focusing on me the whole time.
Sorry. I just had some more people pop in. So, professional paranormal researcher, hello. And I also saw someone else, ATJH Paranormal. Thank you. They always share my stuff out, so it's pretty cool. Thank you for joining. Sorry, I just don't want to miss anybody. Because I want to be a jerk,
Ollie says, that is how I eat grape nuts too. I don't like them to get soft, but my uncle used to make them overnight and put them in the fridge. Oh. That's a little much for me. And then Maiko says, grape nuts actually soften when milk is added, as opposed to Captain Crunch.
Yes.
Well, Captain Crunch, in 2 minutes, it just dissolves. It turns into a mush. It's gross.
Yeah.
It started off good, and then all of a sudden, mushy.
Yeah.
Cameron, you got red hair?
Yeah.
Nice.
I went for something a little bit too different, bright red.
Nice. It looks good.
I love it.
It's awesome.
I love it.
No?
Until
your head's on fire.
Yeah, it is. I was bored and I thought that'll do. And then I washed it out and went, oh crikey, it's a bit. That's all right. It'll disappear.
There you go.
Red does fade faster.
Mm.
Yeah, I had red in my hair at one point in my life, a long time ago.
It's hard to get out though.
That's when she
your
was
hair's
angry,
always pretty.
Angry Cassie. Now she's nice, cool blue.
No, the red was when I was 16 years ago, and it was highlights. But I let a girl from my church youth group. I was a leader at a youth group, and she wanted to know how to do hair, so she put it in a cap. She was giving me highlights, but it looked like my head was bleeding. So then I had to go get it fixed, and then I had red in my hair, and then they had to put dark brown in my hair, highlights. It was a whole thing, and that was it for red. And then I have
I used to dye my hair blonde.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. I did blonde for a while. And then I did black for a hot minute and it looked terrible. But yeah, I used to have blonde hair a lot. But then I would just let it grow out. So then I would just have blonde tips.
I mean, That's in style, or was in style.
That was the look back then.
Yeah.
Someday I'll show you a photo, Karen. I'm not going to show the internet. I'm sorry.
You can show me. You can show me. You can put it on your phone, and the first night that on there, you can show me, and we can have a good old laugh. Oh, it's probably on your phone. Anyway.
Maybe. I can find it.
So, guys, the people in chat who have seen the episodes, what was your favorite part, or what stood out to you for your favorite between Jason and I's episodes, or Levy's too? Like, what was whoa? Anybody?
I'll start.
Okay.
Levy wasn't there. I think, Levy, you had already left by the time this kind of was happening to us. But we were having a lot of activity on the second floor. Second floor? Yeah. It's hard because you come in on one floor and then there's like the dining room, and then the bedroom floor, if you will. The music box kept going off for us, which I found really odd because it wasn't like going off all night. Like it wasn't just like constantly going off. But in this one moment, towards the end of the evening, it just kept going off. And it seemed to me like it was going off at regular intervals. So I was thinking maybe it was the battery. But then it, like the second I would point that out, I'm like, guys, it's going off at regular intervals. So maybe it's the battery. Like then it wouldn't go off for a little while. And then it would. And like the whole interval idea kind of got screwed up because it was like, well, now it's being random. So I don't know.
Yeah. Like
it felt like kids were going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
It was like messing with you guys a bit. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I know Joe had mentioned that like that type of music box can be set off by shadow and light, but I don't think it necessarily was. I don't know if that one in particular gets set off like that. I still have to test it out in my house, but because we would like your cameras or lights would be facing the opposite direction or not into the room because that music box was off to the side. It wasn't like in direct. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, that was so weird because it literally felt like we were being circled. That's what it felt like because you'd hear something behind us and the music box would go off and you'd hear something behind us and like it just kind of felt like we were getting circled by Emma in particular.
Yep.
Yeah. Somebody mentioned the Emma. Allie said Emma through the spirit box. Yeah, that was a big deal. That shook all of us.
What happened?
We were using the spirit box in Emma's room, I believe, or in one of the kids' rooms. And through the spirit box, it came through like Emma, like pretty dang clear. Like there was really no, like, oh no, it clearly said hamburger. It said Emma. So that was pretty creepy.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Hi, a bit. He just said hi or she said hi. Emma, because we asked like, do you want us to move it into like Emma's room or something? And it was like Emma. Like it was like on command. It was just, and then Karen also part of that. I always like I love that she did it because I think we were pretty sure we got a music box reaction to it. Is when you're like, come out wherever you are. It was like the creepiest or whatever, right? You said that?
Yeah,
it was like
that got me. Like, even if nothing ever happened there, like us being super tired, we were just getting kind of loopy. Everybody was at the end of their energy level, and there's Karen just in the dark going, come out wherever you are. It's like it was so creepy and just like perfect. It was every time.
Yeah, I noticed watching it. I noticed watching it, Cassie, when I think I stormed past Ron at one point. Jason obviously must have been behind me when it went off in Peter's room. And I thought, God, I was pushy. I've stormed past, like I've gone, well, go. And then Ron doesn't move, so I stormed past and I went, Peter! I'm like, I probably scared whatever was there away because I got all excited. I thought, I don't remember getting that excited, but I obviously did.
Yeah.
And I pushed poor old Ron around so much. I actually apologized to him the other night. I said, I was really bossing you about.
Like it was funny because like in parts obviously I would leave out. Like I could tell like when like me in particular to Ron, I was getting a little more like short because like obviously we were like exhausted by that point.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. And like we're delirious by the end when we're just like with the roosters. And like how I left it in my intro, Jason, you're like, because we're about to investigate, and then we're like, oh, let's just wrap it up. Like we were just like, we're not even
we're just like, so how do we wrap this? I think you already did. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Levy? When you were upstairs with just Kathy doing your walkthrough, a couple of weird things happened with you guys, like Kathy getting touched and everything. What did you reckon?
I didn't feel much, but I'm sure there's one part that I had the camera in the hallway area, and it looked like there's two ways that you can explain it. It looks like there was a big shadow moving, or no, moving out of the way and disappear, or once you get in front of the camera and then you move, you can see the exposure of the light. But it wasn't because of that, because I had reviewed a few times. So the camera literally was there. Kathy was in the hallway the whole time, and you could literally see like something moving out of the way. Like the room was dark, and then just got like, I don't know. That was one of the experiences that happened. I know we caught an AVP on using the voice recorder on the second floor. And then remember when we left, I left the camera playing. There was a lot of noises coming. So I don't know if it was close to the window or the room, but it looked like it sounded like dragging and walking, dragging. Most of the time it stops. And then the ramp starts, and then all of a sudden back again, like walking, dragging. So that was kind of one of the cool parts from the area.
Yeah. There's a lot of, when you are in Mackay Mansion, especially on the second floor, you hear a lot of things that you can't really identify. I know when I was there before, it was a super, super windy night. Things were getting smacked around. Things outside were getting knocked over, and trees were going crazy. And so it was really hard to figure out what was coming from inside the house, what was coming from outside the house. Was it just natural occurrences? The night we were there, it was a pretty quiet, still night. So we didn't have to worry about that all that often. So when we were especially upstairs hearing things, you could be more confident in that what you were hearing was something in the house. It wasn't like weather related or people outside or anything like that. And so when we would hear things like that, because I think throughout the night we were hearing footsteps. Sounds like people were talking. Like you said, something being dragged. Like we were hearing all of those kinds of sounds the entire time.
Yeah.
We would be downstairs in like the parlor living room area, and we kept hearing things upstairs and downstairs. When we were at the stairway, I know Karen and Ron heard something that seemed to be coming down from below us. So there was a lot of noises in that house that we can't explain away in terms of being like, oh, that was just the wind. Like a very easy, like, oh, that's easily identifiable thing. There was a lot of just not that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's one part that cast.
Oh, no, I was saying in part 2 where that thump, the very end, we're like, okay, let's go upstairs because we heard it upstairs. Like that was like, it sounded like saying fell, but like we don't know.
Yeah,
it's weird. There's one part at the end of my video that Cassie said something, but Cassie didn't hear it. I mean, Cassie didn't hear it, but it's like it's very faint. But I forgot what she said. I gotta look at the video. She said something, and then you can hear like a little girl's voice in the background. That's definitely has to be Emma's somebody.
Yeah.
But
I need better headphones.
We call out voices there. Yeah. It's not. I mean, I don't know if it's the headphones. Well, it could be the headphones, but I have this program called Voice Me and a Banana. I just like sometimes like they still have my volume super high, like when I play games and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely you could definitely hear it.
Yeah, no, that place was definitely. It was one of my favorite. It was kind of like my bucket list location, I mean, along with Washoe. But that one, I'm really kind of excited. I mean, that's where I saw my very first like full figured apparition in an investigation. So that was because I can still picture her. Like even though I was watching the episode, like obviously you can't see
in the dining room.
In the dining room, but I can still picture her, what she looked like, and that would be like, you know what I mean? Like it couldn't. There's no way I didn't see what I saw. So.
And I've had plenty of times where that's happened to me, where like you just see something, you don't catch it on camera.
Yeah.
But you're thinking like, there's no way it was just like a trick of the light. Like I clearly saw a figure. I saw a shape. I saw somebody like right there.
Yeah.
Like, that creeps me out every time.
Yeah. And the fact that
Tarnia told Karen and me, she got her calendar today. So I'm glad you got your calendar. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks to Karen for shipping it out for me. For those of you who are wondering what calendar, I had some calendars. I got one right here. Cemetery Road calendars. Tarnia lives in New Zealand, so it took a little while to get one over to her, but it's not too late into the month, so we're good. It's still good.
No, it's very pretty.
Thank you.
The other thing about sorry, go Cassie. Cassie was saying something. Oh,
no, I said the 8th, but it's the 9th, I guess, for you guys over there.
The other thing about the Mackay Mansion too, but I had that in my mind the whole time we were there anyway, is the fact that there's kind of like, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4 levels, because the lady lives at the bottom, right down the bottom, so underneath. So any noises coming up from under, you had to be aware that that could be. They're usually pretty good though when they know someone's investigating, but nevertheless, like, you know, sometimes you'd hear a noise in the wall or like a and you'd know it was a tap being turned off downstairs or something like that. But you keep those things in mind. So all the noises we heard that night, I didn't hear anything from down there, but I heard a hell of a lot from up. And it's an old house. Houses move with cold weather and the heat and blah, blah. But these weren't, it was definite footsteps at times. And like Levy's describing with the dragging and things, it was definite. Yeah. It wasn't normal noise. I don't know what was causing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If we were rich, we could have a camera in every single corner.
Oh my God.
What's funny is once you leave that area, you hear the noises, but when you're up there, you don't hear it.
No,
so it could be something paranormal. It's probably somebody, like, you know, they're waiting for us to leave so they can start doing their business and stuff like that.
And maybe there's strings.
That was something I was thinking about earlier tonight. Because our channels are so small and new and limited in resources, Casual Ron showed up.
How's going?
Robe, no shirt, hamburger hanging
just
out.
like gape again, like last.
Demonetized.
I love your tattoo, by the way.
Oh yeah, it looks great. Yeah. Look at that ink.
That is dope.
He has a second spin on.
That's a nice pigeon.
It is.
A pigeon, yeah, thanks, Jason. Yeah, it's actually it's a falcon. But
it's a murder pigeon. Got it. We're good.
Yeah.
Because our channels are new and limited in resources, like we don't have the ability to have a camera in every room. We don't have the ability to have recorders in every room and all that kind of stuff. And that's why it's kind of fun when we're all able to get together and investigate these places, because then we have tons of cameras and we have tons of people who can share our experiences. Because it's one thing for me and a camera to be in a place and be like, I heard this thing or I saw this thing. It's a totally different thing when we have 5-6 people that all heard the same thing, that all captured it in a way, in a different shot, on a different camera, on different equipment. That just kind of like reiterates or reinforces what we may have experienced. And that's pretty cool. But there's also something to be said for going in very bare bones. I'm a big fan of bare bones and simplistic, even in my investigations. And I would hope that all of us being able to produce some sort of content with the few resources that we have would inspire anybody else who's even remotely interested in doing this kind of work, that they can do it too. Because if I'm out there with a crappy LED light and a phone and I'm making content that people enjoy, then you can too, kind of idea.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, I'm pretty basic with my equipment. I mean, I have a little bit more techie stuff.
You technically have more equipment than I do.
Well, no, I know. No, but I'm just saying, like, but I don't have. There's like other people who have way more, and like.
Oh yeah, we have people we know that we chit chat with that have like multiple cameras, different sorts of ghost hunting equipment, various different abilities to edit in ways we don't, and all that kind of stuff. But I like the fact that we can have people making content with various different styles and resources and abilities. So it shouldn't. The idea that I don't have these fancy equipment and stuff should never be something that keeps you from investigating.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, even if you don't have anything and you're like, I wish I could go do an investigation, then go do it. If you're not planning on creating a YouTube channel or producing content for other people, go investigate somewhere on your own and just like to prove it to yourself, to have that experience for yourself.
Yeah.
There's no reason why you should think you're being that you don't have that ability to do that thing.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, like my favorite pieces of equipment are my camera, because like it's nice to have everything recording. My digital recorder.
Mm-hmm.
I think what else I would like those that really.
I like to have at least something that I could ask whatever may be there to interact with in a simplistic way. That's why I like the cat balls or the K2 meters or something simplistic that I could be like, if you are here, if you have the ability, can you make that light up? Can you move that? Can you do something to show me that you are here? Like, I don't need stick figure cams and, crazy sensors and all that kind of stuff. I just need like one thing to like, for me to invite whatever could be there to interact with me.
Yeah. Oh, Joe,
you don't even need that really. You could just be like, hey, just make a knock. Make a knock, make a loud noise, talk directly into my ear. Like, do something like that. Let me know.
I'm actually really intrigued though with dowsing rods, because after watching like how like for you using them, but I also seen other people I can trust use them, and it's really interesting. I've tried using dowsing rods before, not like on an investigation, because I've never had them like when I personally investigated, but when I went to like a sleepover investigation, they didn't even budge. They didn't move at all. So it's like, it's just interesting. So, and I don't think they moved. No, they didn't move with you either, Jason, when I was with you even.
No, and that never happens with me. I try and like I will sit there as still as humanly possible, and they start doing that on their own. You held them and you were like as still as I am, and they just nothing. Not one tiny movement. Yeah, it was crazy.
It's weird to me, because even like when I did the investigation or thing, like at the sleepover thing, nothing, didn't budge. Then with you, I forgot about that actually with you, that they didn't budge, but they were moving for both you guys, like, I don't know.
And that's where like, it's hard for being a paranormal investigator in this kind of thing, because it's hard to trust the technology to be doing what you hope it's doing. Mm-hmm. It's hard to trust the spiritual aspect to hope it's doing what you think is doing. Yeah. And really all we can do is just kind of look at what we gather and just question it. We just question everything and have good conversations.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've ever, at least only maybe one thing have I ever captured on camera that I am just like, giant question mark, do not know what that is, cannot explain it.
Pizza ghost.
The pizza ghost.
The pizza ghost at the Mackay Mansion. I don't know what that was. I cannot explain that. There's just zero. Like, you could say, well, what if it was dust? No way that was dust. I'm sorry. Ain't no way. What if it was a bug? Nope. No bug I've ever seen. And the fact that I didn't see it physically, but the camera saw it, blows my mind. Questions of just go crazy in my mind. It's things like that you hope you capture. And it happens just so rarely. And when you have no idea when it's going to happen. Ugh. But yeah, you just gotta, throw everything at the wall, see what sticks. And I've gotten some dowsing rod sessions that just are like, well, that's super interesting. Yeah. Can I sit there and say, like, when I use the dowsing rods, I am communicating with something on the other side? I cannot say that. I am not putting my 100% trust in two metal sticks in my hands. I'm sorry. But it does, the fact that when I use them and we both use them in the same fashion, it moved for me and not for you. Like, that's weird. That is weird for me. That causes me to pause and let's stop, converse about that, question it, because that's a weird thing to happen.
Yeah.
Because it's weird, because you're holding the two rods, right? And it's not moving. But when we ask the questions, all of a sudden it just cross. Or it goes to the side. So it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then Cassie's holding them and they're just like, nah, we're good.
No, I'm not going to answer you.
I like Cassie. I like Cassie when she does her Estes. Every time she gets touched, and screams.
Hey, Loz. Loz is just saying, do you think it's best to immerse yourself into their environment, like when we were playing cards at the Washoe Club? I was telling Cassie, if we go ever there again or whatever, Cassie and I should dress up as ladies of the night, and Jason and Ron can dress up as gentlemen or cowboys. And just do that at the, like, do something like that. Just walk through and talk old timey.
That'd be cool, actually.
Yeah,
I think one of the things that kind of thing does, this is my theory. I have nothing to back this up, guys. When you do things like that, what I feel like we're trying to do, and I feel like whatever may be there could pick up on this, is showing them that our intentions are pure. That if we're sitting there saying, we just want to learn more about you, we want to ask you questions, we want to know about your story, we're not here in any threatening manner whatsoever. If we are doing something like that, immersing ourselves, playing cards, trying to get into their world and make them more comfortable, I think that does help. That being said, I think you can get results by antagonizing as well, because you are doing almost the same thing. You're coming in and you're revealing your intentions to whatever may be there, but you are doing it in such a rude and unhospitable manner that you're going to get results that are just going to result in anger. You're not going to learn anything that way. You're not going to get any sort of information, hopefully, or have a conversation, hopefully. Like, you're just going to piss something off, which is either going to cause physical or mental problems towards whoever's doing it, or they're just going to peace out. They're going to be like, I have no interest in talking with you yahoos. And then you're sitting in a dark room that's quiet and nothing's happening. Both of those things you do not want. So that's why the way I investigate is I would much rather be respectful to whatever I'm trying to communicate with, rather than either chase them away or antagonize them.
Yeah, exactly. Hello, Bad Cat. She's a new subscriber. Also, check out her channel.
Meow.
Laws from Oz asks a question. Do you think some spirits might only be able to hear you after then see you? So do you think they can only hear us? Do you think they can only see us? We don't know what they can see or hear, or how they think things are playing out. Maybe we're the ghost to them. Maybe they think I'm an old-timey, Old West guy in the Washoe Club, and I'm just going along my night. I'm going to go play some cards. I'm going to go see this lady. But then there is a presence that just keeps asking questions, or it comes in, and maybe I think it's a ghost because my mental state or my understanding of the world is that I'm still alive and I'm still just hanging out in a place that really resonated with me. Or they're perfectly know they're ghosts. They're just hanging out in a place they like, and they see the living people come in and out, and maybe they can see us, or they can just hear us, or whatever. We have no idea what the other side experiences either. So, and that's part of the thing of paranormal investigation, is just like, it's not just the unknown of like what we understand, but we also don't understand what they understand, or what could be their perspective on things. It's so fascinating.
The Others movie, the one with Nicole Kidman. Oh my God. I remember when I watched that, I wasn't sure what it was about. I just said, it's Nikki, I'll put that on, and started watching it. And I'm thinking,
first name, like shortened named basis over here, Because apparently the Australians, they're all like super tight.
That's right. Yeah. It's Nikki. She's on. But yeah, you put that on and I watched it because I actually didn't really know what it was about. It was just she was in it. So I thought, I'll watch that. And when it gets to the end, geez, it does something to your brain because you're like, oh my God, what if that's what that is? So we're ghosts to them and vice, like it was weird, but it was good. Yeah. Watch that if you haven't watched anyone. Yeah. Good
the others.
The others,
Brothers?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
the others.
The others. Nicole Kidman.
Others.
Yeah, that one, I remember that blowing my mind because even back then, because I didn't really get, like, I knew, people have already heard the story, but I didn't know investigations really were a thing, right? So, like, but I love the paranormal world. So that movie always, like, fascinated the heck out of me. So, but it's really interesting. Like, is that the case when we're going in and also another thing is questions, like, cause I get touched a lot too. So, like, if people kept bringing it up, like, oh, it's your blue hair.
Calm down, Ron.
Oh,
What?
Oh, it's all right. Jason was just being funny.
What? What?
He said, "Calm down, Ron."
Calm down.
Like you getting touched.
She's like, I get touched a lot, and I'm like, oh, Ron, calm down.
Yeah.
That was.
That's because you're done for the night, man. You threw off your clothes, put on the robe, and you're like, nope.
No, I was on the phone with a good friend of mine that I hadn't talked to in like a year. So
yeah.
Oh, not a best friend? Because it's just a good friend though. Like
best friend.
I said best friend, and then Jason got jealous.
No. No, see, you're my new best friend. This is my friend. I've known him since I was 10 years old, Jason. So.
And hey, Loz, that's a good point. Because that's why when I was with the guys and talking to the spirits, I was just trying to talk to them with being polite and ask questions, because that's another point, because that word does come out a lot on those things like demon and stuff like that. And you think, but Loz could be right. Maybe they're actually looking at us going, you're a demon, because we've got all this weird looking equipment in our hands that they would never have seen in their lifetime. That's why I always say, look at this contraption or this box, or because I figure don't want to skim too much and say,
like you'll see me sometimes pause because I'm trying to and then I'll say touch with the machine, because I'm thinking of words that kind of so you're saying, the spirit box or the REM pod. I try to think of words to relate to them. But it'd be interesting to go to locations that are more modern day too, to see if we kind of get what kind of responses we get, because most of the time we go investigate, we're investigating places that are over 100 years old, right?
The hotel, and you had the
oh yeah, the hotel that was from the 50s. It's not like a toy truck or whatever.
Yeah, it sounded like a little toy truck. Yeah.
So weird. That was more modern, I guess, from the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
So
Ollie says, I wonder if ghosts from the 80s who saw Ghostbusters see the equipment you guys have and think you're going to try and capture them. I mean, sure.
Hey,
I'll bring my proton pack on the next investigation. We'll see what happens.
Throw it out there.
We have but then we'll have no interaction at all, because
we're screw you guys. I'm done.
Slimer shows up and slimes us all.
That would be perfect.
Holy Grail.
Done. We'll retire.
Yeah.
I told you about when I was at the cemetery the other night and I was standing by myself and did that thing and I heard that voice. Guess what I did? It was on record, so I've recorded a lot of the ground.
I have done that so many times.
Filmed my tree, come down, heard that weird sound, and turned the camera back on. I'm wanted again. I'll come back in a second.
Okay.
I'll explain Karen's story. So Karen was at a cemetery. She went with some friends to do a nighttime tour type thing. A lot of cemeteries, older cemeteries, they do that kind of thing. And so she was asked to stay behind at a crossroads in the cemetery. And they're like, if you would just stay here for 5 minutes, we're going to go over here. Then we're going to come back here and ask you, did you experience anything kind of thing? She's like, yeah, sure. Why not? Peace. Well, she was filming in this cemetery and she decided to pan up this tree, and then she started to pan down. As she's panning down, she heard somebody say something, and she thought it was her friend had come back to her. But she was like, I'm in the middle of this pan, so I'm gonna get to the end of my pan, and we're good. Turn off the camera. She turned to talk to her friend, and nobody was there. So she's like, so I'm gonna go back and look at the footage to see if I caught that voice that I heard. But what she's saying here is that, unfortunately, this happens to a lot of camera people. At some point, she hit record. She filmed something. She didn't stop it. And so the next time she went to film something, she hit record, but what she was doing was stopping her camera. So she didn't capture that. And that is one of the most frustrating things that can happen if you are filming stuff. And I do it way too many times to admit to all of you. In fact, there was a short film I was working on, this horror short film I got asked to do main camera on. And we were filming this scene where this guy had this girl tied up in a barn because he'd killed the boyfriend. He had captured this girl and he was going to like eat her or something. It was a horror type thriller thing. And he was getting up in her face like, oh, you ain't never going to get out of here. But she had like secretly untied one of her ropes. And so when he got close enough, she like came down, she like smashes down on him and he's like, oh God. And he falls to the ground. And it's like this big action scene. We did it like 4 times. The first time, man, not so great. Second time, yeah, getting closer. But at the end of the second time, I could have swore I had stopped the camera, but apparently I didn't. And so we did it the third time. We explained to the actress what exactly we needed. We explained to the actor what we needed his reaction to be. They did it, and it was perfect. It was so good. It was just like, oh, we got that thing. And that's when I noticed what I had done. That when it was time to film it, I hit the button. It stopped the camera. They did the perfect take. And then I went to turn it off, and I was like, why does it say stop? Like oh no. And then I knew exactly what happened because I looked back at the last shot, and it was just a lot of like the ground as we're explaining to them what we need. And I was like, oh no. And so I had to be like, let's get one more for safety, just in case. And they're like, why? We got it. It's perfect. And I'm like, just one more. Let's just do one more. Why not? And the next take was pretty good. It wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good. And then we were like, all right, let's move on. I was like, sorry. But yeah, it happens more often than you would expect.
Yeah. My big fear too, because if you turn off the camera without it being stopped too, you can get corrupt footage. And that's like how it happened with Ron dropping the camera. But like,
yeah, let's keep bringing that up every time we hang out.
No, but that's another issue thing. Because like, what happens if I was never able to recover the footage? You know what I mean? Like, that's a fear of mine now moving forward.
And we would have to get rid of Ron. It's fine.
Yeah. Just pull me out of the picture. I'm done. I might as well just
retired already.
Yeah.
Toby, our dog, just scared the crap out of me. I think she's sleepwalking, like doing that dog thing when they're like on their side, and I just heard like this like scraping noise, and I'm like, what was that?
It's the ghosts.
Well, we do have a resident ghost in our house, so I guess.
No, we don't.
That's what I've heard.
You've heard
the ghost of the skeleton behind you.
Yeah. Oh, now you got the dog. Like you can see her.
This is our ghost right here.
Yeah.
Except he looks like a blonde young man, but okay. And the breath of the guy in bed.
I don't need to hear anymore. Stop. Okay.
It doesn't even faze me. I saw him and I woke up and I fell back to sleep.
I'll start worrying when I wake up and see leprechauns.
Yeah, that already happened at but we can't go there. It's not an Airbnb anymore. I want to investigate that house so bad. But now it's like
there's a lot of places I really want to investigate badly. But, some places unfortunately don't want to be known as like haunted locations. For instance, there's my mother's childhood home. My mom experienced paranormal activity in this home for a good chunk of her childhood. I grew up hearing the stories of this phantom that she would see. She would come up the stairs to go to her bedroom. She would take this turn, and this ghost would step out of the wall. This shadow figure that she could barely see through, this black shadow figure would step out of the wall and stand right in front of her as she's going to her bedroom, scare the hell out of her every time. And one night she said, I'm tired of this BS. And so she came up, she takes that turn, it steps out in front of her, and she was just like, stop doing that. Don't do that anymore. I hate you. Like, just stop. And it like went back into the wall, and she never saw it again. Well, that house still exists. I've been there, but it's currently a business. Some people bought it. They turned it into a business. And when I did go there, I was like, oh, yeah, my mom used to live here, and this is something she would talk about. And they're like, oh, yeah, we get people who see things weird all the time here. I researched the location. There was the man who built the house. I think he died there. Okay. But he definitely, like, the weirdness started after he passed away. And so I reached out to them, and I'm like, hey, man, like, I'm a paranormal investigator. I would love to come and just, like, investigate the location. And they were like, no, not at all. Because they're like, we are a business. We want people to come in here. And we're worried if people find out, like, this place is haunted or could be haunted in any form or fashion, that they won't come. I respect that. I totally understand that. So I was like, okay, what if we say it's an undisclosed location? We never say where the location is. They're like, not really. We're not really interested. And I even reached out again and said, what if I don't film it? What if you just let me come investigate it? But I don't film for YouTube or anything, just for my own personal experiences because of the family history. And they were just like, nah. So we're sorry, but like we're not interested. But I would absolutely love to investigate my mother's childhood home for the ghost that I heard so many stories about.
That'd be great.
It would be.
That would be awesome. I mean, like, I had that issue with one of the locations that we investigated. If you guys have seen it, it was the Brockamore Manor. So they used to be known for paranormal, but it was new owner. So we had to be really careful about what we had to, like, what we could share with people too. And then, like, I had to show them, like, our finished episode, and she approved it and stuff, so I was able to post it. But there was it was just like you had to be careful because some people just don't want that name. And that's why, because a lot of people will go in and, like, make a really bad name for a location. So you got, like, I think they're what?
In Niagara Lake?
Yeah, Niagara Lake. Absolutely. We had a really awesome experience there because
right?
if you guys watch the episode, like, we're upstairs, we're wrapping up, and then we turn the cameras off. We hear the paratunes going off downstairs. But the really cool thing about that is that you heard, like, the footsteps, paratune goes off, then you hear kind of static camera going, and then you hear me like turn on the camera, and it was just like going down, you know. So that was really cool. But if we had never went there, we would have never, experienced that. But Niagara Lake is so haunted, so I love it.
Beautiful city.
Yeah,
it is fun. I like it. Recall asked, Jason, is your son ready to go back and do some investigating? I think he is. Like, we still have 2 investigations that we have filmed that I'm going to be putting out on the channel. Each location is 2 to at least 3 episodes each. So it's going to be a bit before I'm going to need more investigation content, at least a few months. And then I have some plans for investigations with some rather cool people that may or may not be in this Brady Bunch box here. But I have plans. I have locations that I want to go with my son and do some investigations. It's just one, cost of locations is a little rough. Time is a little rough. There's things going on in life that are preventing me from jumping out and just taking off and going and doing investigations. He's a grown boy now. Like, he's got work, he's got school responsibilities. So it's finding that timing and the the money. It's just kind of like gotta be perfect. But he enjoyed when we went out, and hopefully once I start putting those episodes out that we did together, we'll start doing some live streams. He'll be on here, so you guys get to meet him and kind of get to know him a little bit more.
That's cool.
That's awesome. I took my stepson once, but that's about it. I wish I could take him more. He was super scared.
He did really well. Like, it was his first time. So we did the Beatty Mansion. It was really fun. He was super, super nervous. It was his first time like filming and being like on camera and doing stuff. Yeah. So if you watch those episodes, he is a little like reserved, which is totally fine. But we did 2 more locations, and he got more and more confident in those locations. And we filmed all of those in a few days. We did that in like a 4-day period. So he quickly figured out like these locations are creepy. It's a little intense to be in them at night and like quote unquote looking for ghosts, but he got confident in what he was doing, and I'm just expecting any more investigations that we do, he'll feel more and more confident in kind of what his role is on the team and what he's doing there, and maybe he'll have more questions now. Like, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, like what? Actually, a question for you, because you were the very beginning of Weeping Willow, and then that compared to now, because you stepped away, then you came back. So, do you feel more like confident going in now, or do you still feel
See, yeah, when Virginia City at PEX was a huge thing. I met amazing people, Jason. Levy I met at Hinsdale. That was a great experience.
You slept on the couch.
I slept on the couch, but like
that sounds great.
Yeah. The paranormal community, everybody's phenomenal. I am still personally, with my upbringing and where I come from, am struggling with a lot of things in my life. Actually, I just had a conversation with my friend. And I just there's certain things like I don't denounce nothing. Like, I'm very open. I when Cassie got into the whole paranormal thing, I mean, she's always been very pronounced, like open. Like, she's always heard things, or like she had in a gift of discernment is what we would call it. So she just has a sense, and I can't explain that, but when she got into the whole paranormal thing, I was just like, oh, okay, yeah. But you're my wife. I support you. If this is what you want to do, I go ahead. And then I went on a couple of investigations with her. Did the Old Angel Inn. Yeah. Did the Prince of Wales. Did I experience anything? No, I just was like, this is fun. Whatever. And Cassie did her thing, but yeah, but when I went to PEX, that was the eye opener. That was the, like, I can't explain the things like on our episodes that what we experienced. And I is my mind playing tricks on me? Like, is it the devil, like, fooling around? No, like
yeah. And I saw that. I saw how you work, because I met you right before PEX. Yeah. You were Mr. Cassie, and you were just like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just here hanging out with my wife on vacation, whatever. I don't care. Yeah. It's not my thing. And then we investigated the Washoe Club. And after that, you were like, well, that was a lot of fun. That was a fun place to wander around. That was cool. But it was after the poker table incidents where you were like, well, that was weird. Yeah. That was odd. Yeah. And then, like, the next day, we're doing stuff, and you're hanging about. You hung out with Patty. You had your reading with Patty. Yeah. You talked with more of the investigators. You were with Cassie, and you were, like, doing some of the panels and the little investigations with her. We did Mackay Mansion. And at the end of that weekend, you were just like, I'm interested to do more. I came in being like, yeah, this is just like, whatever. To now you were like, so when is the next place we're going? Because now I'm interested in it's not that you were like, I'm sold. There's ghosts, like spirits are real, like hallelujah. Like what it did was pique your interest. And make you curious. And that's why we're doing it. We're doing it because we're curious. We want to know more. And if this is one way to know more, sure. At least it's a fun way to know more.
And
at the very least, we are going to have a damn fun time, whether or not we see a specter, a spook, or a ghost or not.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, because there's like tons of times me and Reese have gone out and we've got a couple of weird things, but like you know, like that's the thing. But I mean, it was an abnormal experience, especially for me, because the most active location I ever investigated, like besides PAX, was the Beck House in Petinguishing, Ontario. That's where I saw a shadow figure rush me. We heard EVPs, we had disembodied voices, we had paratunes going off. Reese had someone follow her home from that location. So that was our biggest experience, but nothing compared to Virginia City. Like those were like that. I was getting touched and hearing things. It was just insane.
And the funny thing I said to Cass after PAX and being in Virginia City, I'm like, I kind of want to go back to the Hinsdale house.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go back because I wasn't, when I went there, like I looked at it, I get to meet Levy and his wife and kind of hang out, but I wasn't there as a,
you weren't open to it.
I wasn't into it. I wasn't, you know what I mean?
He was just there for the barbecue.
Yeah, I was there for the barbecue.
Good reason. Good reason to go.
Oh man, that was fun. It was fun. But
we're gonna have some good barbecue when we go out too. I'm just saying, wherever that may be. I don't know where we're going, but it could be cool.
No,
I'm sure they have barbecue.
But the thing is, though, Hinsdale, though, like Levy, it wasn't like crazy. I mean, other than getting rushed by that thing and by the pond for me, where you thought it was a human and you came running out of the house to save us. There wasn't literally, it was like Ron sleeping and Levy's like running out. But like there wasn't
with the camera
amount of stuff there. Like I slept soundly. I didn't get woken up. Like at the Beck House, I couldn't sleep. Like I was on edge the whole time. You know what I mean? So like Hinsdale, I was like, okay. Like I don't know.
But all right, guys. No, I just want to say one thing. Chase Manor is literally an hour away from Hinsdale. Forget about Hinsdale. I don't want to talk crap about it, but
gotta go to Chase Manor.
Yeah,
it's 2 hours from us. We looked it up.
Yeah,
I googled it. Should. Auburn, New York, right?
Yeah, I became really good friends with her.
There you go, Cassie. When I'm visiting Cassie, 2 hours isn't far to drive.
Nope,
it's not
really.
No.
So if you guys want to, and you can sleep there, and it's
can you sleep there too?
Bonus points. Bonus points for heat.
Bonus.
Bed and breakfast too.
Can you get breakfast too?
Oh,
I'm in. It's free food. Oh well, not really. I'll probably be paying through.
Yeah.
How much did they charge for the night, Levy?
The guy was it was 4 of us, right? But the guy that invited us, his name is Brother Frank. He said it was 75 each, but he literally just paid for the whole thing for everybody. So I don't know how much maybe
nothing.
Maybe 4 something. Maybe. I'll find out. But yeah, Chase Manor, meeting, whatever. That place is
nice.
Awesome.
Cool.
Okay.
There's a couple places near here that I want to check out. That would be fun to like go with a group of people, especially one of the things that like Cassie's done, and I don't know, Levy, if you've done this before, is investigating like working hotels.
No.
So it's like it's hard to investigate them because you have access to a room, kind of, but like you can't like investigate the whole location, like having Mackay Mansion opened up to you. But if we got enough people who like took over a good chunk of the hotel,
well, it's like
then we could have like 3-4 rooms to investigate. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Now, why didn't you mention this before I booked my flights?
The like hotel stuff?
Jason.
What? We're busy. We have things to do.
Yeah, but I could have come a week earlier, and we could have gone and investigated these places.
But Cassie and Ron couldn't have come down a week earlier. They already stressed for childcare.
Party pooper. I'm not good enough, obviously. Fair income. Right, I'll remember this. That's all right. Look at Levy, isn't he cute? Look at those little cheeks. he's got cheeks, and Mama wants to do this too. Look at him.
That's true.
Yeah, and he's very, for the ladies out there, just so you know, he gives the best cuddles.
Yeah, calm down.
No, he's like a son to me. He's very, you give him a cuddle and it's so nice.
Yeah, you could ask Crow.
Yeah,
it's
good.
Ask Matt.
Yeah, Matt.
I know how
he
to
just
do
falls
that.
asleep in his arms.
You can do that even when they're sitting still by telling them you're going to give them a nice neck massage. I know exactly where to hit as well. So watch out, everybody, just in case I offer you a neck massage.
I could do that.
I mean the neck.
He's trying to take you down.
The things we talk about. Sorry, I've done this. We'll go back to talking about ghosts.
No, this is normal. We normally are all over the place. We've already covered food. We've already covered
breakfast cereals. So that's
breakfast
good.
cereals.
How about beer?
Actually,
beer.
We talked a little bit about beer. And
Jason, food. I was having a panic attack the other day thinking about food for you to eat when you're here in Australia, because when I come to America, I want to try all the things I've heard about, like gumbo and biscuits and gravy and all that. I want to try all the things I don't know, some other Aussie might pop in here and say, oh, no, you can get that, Karen, but I don't know where you can get that here. And I think to myself, when you come here, Jason, all I've got to really offer you is Vegemite on toast, a meat pie, a 4 and 20 meat pie. I don't know which beer, probably 4X, but there's lots of other ones. And then I thought, there's nothing really Australian to offer you, because all of our meals are from our heritage, like English heritage, like a roast pork with apple sauce, lamb with mint sauce.
I haven't had any of that stuff, so I'm down.
What about kangaroo, Karen?
Oh, I'll never eat a kangaroo.
I don't want to eat a kangaroo.
No, you can buy kangaroo. You can buy kangaroo meat in the supermarket, but I just can't. I don't want to eat a kangaroo. It's bad enough that I even now am starting to look at the steak and the chicken and think, oh my God, I've had a pet chicken. Oh my God. And then so no.
Do you see a lot of kangaroo passing by?
What about alligator? You can get alligator too, right? Or crocodile.
Yeah, I'll eat those sons of bitches.
I'll eat that. Because he'd eat me, an alligator or we don't have alligators, we've got crocodiles. A crocodile would eat me, so I'll eat him. But a moo cow isn't going to eat me. A chicken's not going to eat me.
A pig will, though, so bacon is safe.
Only if I'm dead.
No, pigs will eat you if you're laying down.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
They're crippled.
They must be starving.
No, they just like to eat.
I mean, I know you can get rid of a dead body that way.
That's what I'm saying.
There was a Canadian
serial killer in British
Columbia.
Yeah.
I think is that the one where he kept throwing him in with the pigs?
Yep.
Yeah, that's how he got rid of the bodies.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, there was 2 of them, wasn't there? Wasn't it? They used to throw parties or something and invite people. I think I know unless there's another serial killer that's got a pig, but he'd put them on meat hooks or something, wouldn't he? Is that the one?
Oh,
I think you're thinking of a movie.
No, I'm not. There was a serial killer who'd have a party, and they must have obviously, go to a party, and then he'd get the women, and they'd go back because they were pig farmers, and they'd go back and he'd do whatever he wanted to the body, which was disgusting, meat hook the rest, and to get rid of the evidence of the body, feed it to the pigs.
Oh.
He got caught.
What are you thinking? What?
No, I just heard what Zed said.
What?
Or me.
Someone told me, good chance if I got hot dogs in the 90s, I ate human because this guy distributed the remains.
You're talking to the same. Yes. See, that's who I'm talking about. That's who I'm talking about. There was another fella who used to put them. I think it's the same guy. Maybe that's what he did. It was the Bones.
What's that musical with the meat pies?
Pie.
He Sweeney Todded
hot
dogs.
Yeah.
Oh, look, good night. But I would dare say that human flesh tastes like pork, because in the medical field, field.
I think we've crossed the line.
in the medical field.
How about them Toronto Maple Leafs? Did anybody see the hockey game tonight?
That's right. They didn't kill anyone.
There was. How about those Leafs?
They lost?
I don't know. I'm just trying to change subject. That's what you do. That's what
serial
you do.
Killers is interesting. It always fascinates me as to how evil people can be.
Yeah. And how evil a Canadian can be. Just kidding.
Yeah, them Canadians, they're just pretending to be polite.
Actually, there are a lot of
murderers. Canadians.
Yeah.
I was watching some true crime the other day, and it was on I was busy. I multitask. I can't. This is the only time I can actually, well, to be honest, I'm not even doing that. I am multitasking a little bit with work, but normally I can't sit still. I've got to, have noise in the background if I'm working, because if it's quiet, it's too quiet and I can't concentrate on my work. So I had a true crime thing that was just on a loop, and it was all these true crimes. And then I hit to a part where they were all happening in Canada, and especially Ontario and Toronto. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to Ontario. I better be careful. But Jason's already
those Canadians.
Yeah, Jason's already been to your house, so I'm pretty sure we're all safe.
Well, you don't know that hot tub.
I wasn't there very long.
I was just going to say, if anything that was going to happen would have happened in the hot tub.
Hey, have you ever seen Harry and the Hendersons? How about that? You ever see Harry and the Hendersons?
Yeah.
And he sees that scene where he sees the people in the hot tub, and he's looking in the kitchen, and he sees the boiling water of the lobster. Yeah. And he's looking back at the hot tub with the people in the hot tub. And he's like, love that movie. Love it.
I haven't watched that
classic.
I haven't watched it in a while, but it is good. I grew up on that
classic.
Yeah, that's been years.
That was like one of the first movies I saw where what's the dad's name? Oh.
What is his
Dang
name?
it. I was going to say Charles Grodin, but that's definitely not Charles Grodin.
No. Google.
Yeah, Google it real fast.
Google.
The dad's name in what, Jason? I wasn't paying attention.
Harry and the Hendersons.
Oh, he's from 30 Rock. 30.
Yeah.
Rock from the
yeah. Why is it saying Gary? It's Harry.
Gosh.
He played a really good.
What's his name?
John Lithgow.
John Lithgow. That was the first movie I saw John Lithgow in where he wasn't a bad guy, because I grew up with him as like the crazy, angry toy executive from the Santa Claus the movie. So he was evil in that. And then, like, every movie he was in, he was just like a jerk or the bad guy or whatever. But then in Harry and the Hendersons, he was the good dad. But even then, like, there was an emotional scene in Harry and the Hendersons when he's telling Harry to go, and he's like, "We don't want you here no more." And he's like smacking him and stuff.
Yeah,
like, oh, that's heartbreaking.
I like cried at that scene. I think.
Really?
Did you ever watch? Yeah. Oh, it's hard. Like John Lithgow forgot he was in a movie about a family who finds a Bigfoot, and he went full on like like Juilliard film, like acting school in that scene. Yeah. Did you ever watch Dexter?
No.
I love Dexter.
I love Dexter. I'd marry Dexter.
Dexter was a TV show about a serial killer who only killed bad people. He worked for the police. He was a blood spatter specialist for the police in Miami, but he was also a serial killer. And when he found out someone did bad, he would then go and kill them.
Yeah, the pedophiles and things like that.
Yeah, in one of the seasons, the main bad guy for that season was John Lithgow. He played the Trinity killer.
He came back in the other season too, didn't he? Though, from memory, because he was in that season, but then he came back. I'm sure he came back in it again.
Yeah, I haven't watched the most recent redo season.
Oh no, I haven't watched that either.
The new one, he'll come back in the game.
Yeah, but he was amazing in that show. The show ended because it ended, and then like last year or whatever, they put out like a new season that's like. I have no idea if it was any good. I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to watch it. But the last season of Dexter that ended the series was not great. They kind of crapped the bed kind of thing. Yeah. But the Trinity Killer season was so flipping good. And John Lithgow he also plays a serial killer.
Oh, wow.
He was like built to be evil. I don't know what it is. Well, some guys just have that face.
Yeah.
Wasn't John Lithgow the serial killer or the killer? I might have to binge watch Dexter again, the whole thing. But
don't spoil anything.
The one? Oh,
something.
Yes,
I watched one episode.
He was. I know what you're going to ask. He was.
Yes. Yeah. I'm going to have to binge watch that. I actually used to enjoy watching Dexter so much because he was so nice. But then on the other hand, he was a serial killer. But he was a serial killer. You did not want to see him get caught.
I started rewatching it. I watched like the first 1.5 seasons, and then I got super, super busy. But it's definitely one of those shows I want to rewatch like fully over again.
Yeah, the last season was shit, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
It ended shitfully. It could have ended much better. It was just shit. But I haven't seen the new one. I might watch it because when you do see the end of the last series and you realize what's happened, you do want it to. You do want to like, oh my god, but what's going to happen? You do. So you do want to see that. So I'm a bit scared to watch it though.
It's good, but then it was kind of disappointing.
So Z said she tried watching
but there's going to be something else after that.
Kaleidoscope show
on
Netflix. I watched it.
Yeah.
I binge watched it.
Oh, you did watch
Paul
it.
And Cheryl. I really enjoyed it. It was kind of all over the place.
Well, that's the point of the show.
Like it's in the.
Do you know the conceit of the show?
Like, it's good.
So it's this show on Netflix called Kaleidoscope. The whole premise of the show is that you can watch it in whatever order you want.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
That's the whole thing.
Really?
They built the show so that I don't know how many episodes it is, like 6 or 8 episodes.
8 episodes.
You don't have to watch it from episode 1 to episode 8. It was built to be able to be watched episode 8, episode 5, episode 3, episode 2. You could watch it in any order you want, and the way you watch the show changes the way the show is perceived every time. Because it was created that way.
It was
so
good,
they actually suggest like not watching it episode 1 through 8. They suggest like just randomly watch episodes and see how it turns out, because how you view it is going to change how you feel about the show.
Interesting,
because it wasn't built linearly.
Yeah, and that's how I found it when we were watching it. Like, because you go 1 through 8, and I'm like, where is this show going? I don't get it. We're in the past, we're in the future, the present, future, past. Like, it was all over the place, but I enjoyed it. Good series. The premise and everything behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Loz from Oz mentioned, she said Dexter was a kind of like a scrubbed up, which means looking good version of one of our fellas down here that was very famous, Chopper Reed. And my answer to Loz is Chopper's way of killing bad people was just not as not as fancy as Dexter's. Chopper Reed.
Dexter was pretty fancy.
He was fancy. He had the whole thing. Chopper was just a thug, but a lovable thug who was a murderer. And but if you pissed him off, he killed bad guys. Like if someone beat up his missus or something, Chopper would go around and say, "Hey, you bastard!" Bang. He went to jail.
That sounds more vigilante.
Yeah,
kind of. But you wouldn't have wanted. You wouldn't have wanted Chopper on your bad side. You'd want to be mates with Chopper. There is a good movie about Chopper.
I think we should always be friends with anybody named Chopper. Just to be on the safe side.
Actually, Loz, what's the name of the movie? Is it just called Chopper? Eric Banner. You know who Eric Banner is, don't you?
Yeah.
The Australian. Eric Banner plays Chopper. He actually put on a little bit of weight for it. So if you want to watch a good movie with a lot of Aussie talk in it, watch Chopper. I think that's what it's called, just Chopper.
It sounds familiar. I think it is.
Yeah. Lars brought up The Pale Blue Eye with Christian Bale. I saw that on Netflix. I want to see that too. It looks really interesting. It has to do with Edgar Allan Poe as a murder mystery or something. So, I was going to say something else, but Dexter, David Tennant always when he plays a bad guy, he plays a good bad guy.
He does, doesn't he?
Have you ever watched Broadchurch?
Oh, doesn't he play a bad guy in that? Or is he a good guy in that?
He's a
watch the English version though. There's
an American version. I can't remember what it's called.
It started with G, I think, like gold. It was still David Tennant in it, playing the same character, but it takes place in America, and David does an American accent, but nothing. It's the same script, great. I think.
Yeah,
it's the same. I think it's the same script.
I think that's very showing of like the magic of what something is, and when you just even change it a little bit, it's just like, the magic's just not there. Broadchurch is about a small English community who is rocked by the death of a young boy, and David Tennant, who's just like this grizzled detective, who's just like he's seen some stuff, if you will. He gets brought in from outside to investigate this murder. He gets teamed up with this woman to help. She's a police detective on the force there, so she gets teamed up with him because he doesn't know the people or the place or whatever. And so I want to say there's like 3 seasons of this English Broadchurch. Season 1's great. Season 2's pretty good. Season 3 I didn't finish, I don't think. But it's David Tennant, and it's really, really good. And there is an American version, but don't bother with it.
Yeah, no,
But the mother of the boy who dies, Jodie Whittaker, she's the one that is Doctor Who.
Yeah, I was saying she's Doctor Who.
So that's one of the things. Like when I watched that show, like I fell in love with her. She's stunning, but she was just like a powerhouse in there. There's so many people in that show that you're just like, hey, calm down. I'm like, you are just trying to win an Oscar. This is a British TV show. Like you don't have to work this hard. But she did. The lady who plays the partner, whose name I just am blanking on right now. She was amazing.
She's a really good actress.
David Tennant's just like, this is a role. I've seen him in a bunch of stuff. His role in Broadchurch, I was just like, guys, David Tennant's amazing.
He's the Doctor again?
What? No, he's not.
For like a hot minute. He's going to be the Doctor for
Olivia Colman.
I saw something.
Olivia Colman, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
the reason why
it's really, really good. Broadchurch.
I haven't seen it only because it has to do with children. Like the premise of the
story.
No,
it's all right. I'm like that too. No.
Yeah, me too. It is. I mean, it's rough. It's rough. The first episode's rough because that's when people are like, "Hey, your kid didn't show up to school. Like, where is he? He didn't show up to soccer." It's not graphic.
No, it's not even that it has to be graphic. It's just like the premise of like, if I know, for example, you were watching that vampire show and there's like vampire babies, and I was getting upset because I wasn't sure they were going to kill the babies. Like, I don't know.
No, I think you'd be all right with this one.
I think you would be okay, but if you're even like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna like it, then just kind of avoid it. I'm the same way. I don't do well with children violence. It's very rough as a dad. Even before I was a dad, it wasn't great with me. But when I became a dad, I was just like, no, I'm like, no, thank you. But it's good. It's really good. He does a good job.
Okay. Yeah. Have you guys seen him in Good Omens?
Good Omens.
Yeah.
I haven't watched Good Omens yet, but I love
Jason. Gotta watch it.
I will watch it. Eventually I'll watch. I just never have time to watch stuff.
Yeah.
You know what movie I like David Tennant in, except the movie wasn't that great. The remake of Fright Night? Fright Night.
Yeah, it was Fright Night. Yeah.
It was
he played like
He plays the Peter the Vampire Killer part, but he's kind of overtly like
well, he plays a like what's that magician? That Las Vegas magician guy.
Yeah, he sort of plays Peter the Vampire Killer in a different
because in the original movie, it's that character is like classic monster movie I am blanking on names tonight, guys.
I'm trying to think. He was one of my favorite actors. He was in Lassie. Oh my god, Lassie.
But yeah, they take that character in a much different way in the remake. But he did a good job. I agree. He did a good job. The movie itself was not great. I would much prefer to watch the original Fright Night. Even I would prefer to watch Fright Night 2.
I haven't seen Fright Night 2. Which one's Fright Night 2? I remember the original where he looks out.
The Fright Night 2, again, it's the sequel to the original movie. So the main kid from the first one goes to college, and it turns out like there's a whole sorority of vampires that he's got to fight.
How have I missed that, or how have I forgotten that?
I don't know. Joe is in the house. Joe says the original Fright Night was great when I was a kid. Absolutely, Joe. One of the best movie posters ever, too.
Is it American Gods?
American Gods is
Have
really
you seen
good.
That? American Gods?
I have not seen that either.
Oh my God.
It is on the very long list of things I need to watch because
they
for the past 3 years
they
did.
And I was like,
for the past 3 years, Roddy McDowall plays the original guy.
Thank you, Roddy.
But he plays I finally remembered the name. He plays very Vincent Price-esque version of that character. The guy who was made famous by playing like basically vampire hunters, but is now regulated to a late night horror movie host guy. Whereas, Chris Angel in the new one, old Doctor Who is playing like a Chris Angel, washed up Chris Angel version of that character, which is very night and day different than one another. But he does a really good job with it. Unfortunately, the movie itself is just kind of weak because they don't really stretch themselves in terms of making a compelling story beyond that. Mm-hmm. But David Tennant, he's just like, listen, I'm not going to show up for a paycheck. I'm going to show up and I'm going to do a good job. So I respect actors who can do that.
Yeah, he was Jones. I know it's a Marvel like spinoff thing.
He was
Jessica Jones. He was good,
and he played such a good bad guy.
I'm actually trying to. He plays a serial killer, and I watched it's another BBC.
I think someone mentioned it. Neil.
He played Dennis Nielsen. What was it?
Yeah, that's it.
It's funny. Netflix. It's funny because on Instagram, I flip through Instagram, and because my interest in true crime and stuff, sometimes this pops up. There's a pretty well-known Instagram that keeps popping up because this dude who does like quick, here's a serial killer and his history kind of thing. When he talked about that serial killer, he just used photos of David Tennant as that serial killer. And so it's all, I've never actually had the video itself come across my TikTok feed. It's always people being like, people stitching it. So it's like, here's so-and-so, he was a serial killer. And it's like, here's his photo. And then it switches over to the other person and is like, that's David Tennant. You are using pictures from the movie. It's not right.
Oh my gosh.
Dennis Nielsen. Yeah.
Did he do that on purpose? He was using.
He just looked up the person and grabbed the first photo off of Google.
Did it
and
come up?
Happened to be.
Yeah. Look at that though for a hang on, I'll make it bigger.
Yeah, he's
like
pretty
for a
spot
side by
on.
side. It's not a bad thing, is it? Like that's David. That's the actual. Yeah, but that's a really good. That's a good mini series too. It's just really hard to watch. Hang on, I'll stop sharing. it's just really hard to watch a sweetheart like David Tennant playing an asshole.
I hate it. Like, I mean, I love it, but I hate it at the same time.
Yeah, because he's my doctor.
Have you ever
like,
seen the video? He was at some award ceremony, and they presented him with like a achievement award of some sort. But it was an award they were presenting him that he didn't know about. And so he's sitting in the audience. And they're like, so this next award is like to the greatest human on the face of the planet. So let's play this footage and we'll find out who's getting it. And he's just like, and then it pops up and it's this person. He's like, oh yeah, he's the greatest actor, greatest person I've ever met. I love him to death. And it clicks over to another person. And David Tennant like slowly starts to realize that they're talking about him. And he's like, oh, hey. Oh, hey. And like the genuine reaction when like the third person was like, David Tennant is probably one of the greatest people on the planet. He was just like, oh, and he like starts crying and he's just like, oh my gosh, they're talking about me. Like, man, the guy is just like, I just like him even more.
Yeah.
I'd be very disappointed if I find out 20, 30 years from now, he was a freaking
He liked
asshole.
to like stomp on kittens and stuff. Like,
yeah, he's got 5 kids now. I'm under the impression that she may well be pregnant with the 6th. I could be wrong, but bloody hell, he needs to keep it in his pants. I mean, Christ, 5 kids.
Listen, he's David Tennant.
I like Peter
Yeah, but
Capaldi.
his wife's very pretty.
He was good too, as a doctor.
Who was?
I don't watch Doctor Who.
Peter Capaldi.
He
was a good doctor.
Grew on me. Matt Smith grew on me.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Because David Tennant was such a good Doctor Who. So Matt Smith, I was like, I don't like him. But then he grew on me.
I don't know.
Peter Capaldi.
I just like he was older. He was like more refined, more like a gentleman like type.
Did you just see what Crow just said?
Yeah.
You could be a
when
model.
you've had a good-looking doctor like David Tennant was
Did you see that?
So he was nice to look at as well. Keep your clothes on, Ron.
I am.
Yeah, calm down, bro.
Jeez.
She's trying to show me off now.
Look, you're even turning bloody Joe on now.
I better just start my own OnlyFans. Maybe I could,
Listen, we got to fund these investigations somehow, brother.
Exactly, right?
Come on.
I got to get to Australia somehow, right, Karen?
That's right.
Hey?
That's
Who's
right.
going to subscribe to my OnlyFans feet channel? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Tarnia's road. Doesn't Cassie have 5 kids? Yes, I do.
Well, yeah, but
Oh, speaking of David Tennant, we got the David Tennant of Canada here with us today.
Well, I can't say anything. I've got 6 kids, so there you go. But I'm not David Tennant.
Tarnia, calm down.
I missed that. I think I had to go to bed because I had to work that.
Listen,
that point when you guys are showing off nipples.
Were we showing off nipples?
I kept doing costume changes, and one of my costume changes was on screen.
Right, yeah.
So.
I think he'd had a few to drink.
No.
What?
Well, usually Jason has a few to drink. Then he gets really talkative.
What?
No, not at all.
Oz from Oz says David met his wife on Doctor Who. She was the daughter of a previous Doctor Who as well. It's true.
Yeah.
Really?
Her dad was the first Doctor Who I ever watched that I really liked. He used to wear celery as a decoration in his
celery.
Yeah, and so she played his daughter played David Tennant's daughter in Doctor Who. So David Tennant, and they never went down that track either. She flies off. She's a Time Lord as well, the daughter of a Time Lord. She flies off in a thing, and you never see her character again. But and then that's how they met, and that was his doctor growing up as well. So that's kind of cute that he married his doctor's daughter.
Never even realized that.
Yeah, they're all.
I learned that on TikTok.
Oh, there you go.
And I love Doctor Who.
I watch a lot of Graham Norton. So often you'll see David Tennant on Graham Norton, and he told that.
I like
story.
Graham Norton. I don't watch a lot of Graham Norton, but I watch a lot of like TikTok clips of Graham Norton because he just has it's a fun show. Like, you just get the impression like that's a show that people just come on to just like screw off because nobody cares. We're gonna have some fun on that show.
Yeah, and they're allowed. Did you ever see the episode of Graham Norton with Marky Mark on it? No. Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg was on. He was pissed. He was drunk. He'd been drinking out the back. He'd come from a premiere.
He didn't need to drink out the back. They all drink on the show.
They drank up, but he'd been drinking out the back. He'd been drinking at the premiere and drinking out the back, and then he came out and said, "G'day." He was all over Graham, like, touching Graham and doing all this and flirting.
Well, he's a good-looking gentleman.
He is, but he was flirting with the actress too. The comedian Sarah Silverman.
She's a good-looking woman too.
Yeah, well, she had shorty shorts on and these long stockings, and oh my goodness, it is hilarious to watch. So if you want something to laugh at, Graham Norton show, type it in.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
keep it
YouTube or like pop up
Graham
like
Norton.
Graham Norton.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, Sarah Silverman, and just put in drunk. It'll come up. It's hilarious, and it goes on and on and on. And it's
here we go.
Yeah, and you can.
I'm going to assume this is the episode because the picture is him just sitting on Graham Norton's lap.
That's it. That's it. And he's like, and he's and you can see even Graham Norton's getting really either aroused.
See, that would be me. That would be me. If I have too much to drink on Graham Norton's show, I will be sitting on Graham Norton's lap. I don't care. Just putting that out there. I will get super lovey.
Laugh hysterically.
So that's how girls can manage.
Start hiccuping.
Yeah.
And just laughing hysterically.
Yeah, Cassie's funny when she's tipsy.
Reekin Havoc is going to sleep. Good night, Reekin.
Night.
Laws from Oz says, just watched Graham Norton episode this morning with Margot Robbie tattooing a guy's foot.
Yeah, someone from the staff, from Graham Norton's staff, said because she in a movie she does that for someone. In a movie she does tattoos a smiley face on there.
Well, she gave tattoos to all of the cast of the Suicide Squad movie.
That's what it was, and I think the staff member said do that for me, so he come out and she did that for him.
I would do that too. Why not? If Margot Robbie wants to tattoo on me, sure, why not?
She wants to hold your smelly feet. Why not?
I wouldn't make her tattoo my foot.
Oh my goodness! What would you make? Here we go.
Yeah,
put a smiley face right there. That's good.
Well, my next tattoo is booked for February 17th. So
boom.
I go back on April 1st.
I know. We're like battle of the tattoos.
Nice.
I can't wait.
And more tattoos probably in the spring. So
there you go.
What's that joke about the man who has a tattoo? I won't say too much because we're on the YouTube, but there's a joke about a man goes to Jamaica for a holiday and uses the public room, and he looks down and he sees he's just an Englishman, and he looks at the man over next to him who's got a tattoo on his heart, and it's a short word like Wendy or something, and he goes, "Oh, that is that named?" He goes, "No, man. It says welcome to Jamaica. Enjoy your holiday." But it's because he's just in the urinal. Do you get it? You don't get it? Think about it.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
You don't need to draw a picture for us. We're good.
But that's a funny joke when you hear it the first time. It's a funny joke.
Hi, Through the Veil. We're just rambling now.
Yeah. We've been going for nearly 2 hours.
Really?
No wonder.
Yeah.
Maybe must have fallen
Hour and
asleep.
53 minutes.
That flew by.
Yeah, Levy fell asleep.
I mean, the paranormal hangover is real for that one. For him.
True.
So, might as well wrap it up, I guess, because we're
might
getting
as well wrap it up.
midnight.
That's right.
So, guys,
Levy's fallen asleep, and I technically have to go and get changed out of my Cemetery Road t-shirt and go and see a client.
There you go.
I'm like backwards. I'm wearing my Weeping Willow. This one's fun. What the heck?
I'll have to order a Weeping Willow. I can't have.
I'm like,
I have the Weeping Willow like logo on the center shirt.
I thought you were going to say you're going to get a tattoo.
No.
A chest tattoo.
Chest tattoo. Weeping Willow.
Well, I have my willow tree. Hold on. There we go. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Okay, guys.
I'm glad we home, Mike. Mike says it was. I think that's what he's referring to. This talk, this chat.
We enjoy hanging out with you guys as well. These live streams are always fun. Hopefully, we will do some more. Just because we're not producing episodes that are in conjunction with each other, does not mean these live streams won't happen on a regular basis. Chasing the Darkness says, guess Mike is not working.
Oh no.
So we'll definitely still do these types of live streams all the time. Like, I don't like doing live streams by myself. So whenever I do a live stream, I will definitely be inviting all of these people. So even though we're not currently releasing episodes that feature all of us, we will still be doing live streams together, because this is when we get to hang out together as well. Like, we also do like Zoom calls together and hanging out, but sometimes it's fun to just hang out with all of you guys as well, talk about cereal and fast food and ghosts and investigative techniques and movies and David Tennant. So this will happen at least every other week. You never know. Especially since Cassie doesn't have any more shows to put out after a few weeks.
I have like 3, so that'd be like 6 weeks every other week. Right. So I do have, there you go. But then after 6 weeks, there might be a little bit of a slow period. So we'll see.
And me as well, because I do have a bunch of cemeteries and a bunch of investigations with Paul to put out. And then I think by the time I'm kind of all through that, we will get to the point where I will have some content to shoot with some peoples that are currently in this video. So we'll be good.
Yeah.
But we're doing our best, guys, to bring you content as much as we humanly can, between having families and jobs and responsibilities. Just remember, like, the paranormal investigation stuff, the content creation stuff is a hobby at this point. It does not pay the bills. It does not provide us the ability to just travel around and do these investigations willy-nilly. So we're doing as best as we can. I am so happy that you guys like what we can bring you, when we can bring it to you, that you guys support our channels, that you guys hang out with us on these 2-hour-long rambling sessions. Do not think that we do not appreciate you guys spending your time to hang out with us or to watch what we produce.
Yeah.
And we don't mean to miss anything that you put in the chat either. We do try to look over and see. Sometimes the chat moves really fast.
It does.
But it's really nice, isn't it?
Calm down, Ron.
Just in time to say goodbye.
Save it for the OnlyFans.
Raquel just said it better be every week. It better be every week live hangout. Really makes a difference in some of our lives hanging out. Yeah, we will try to go as live as possible, even if it's on my channel, on Jason's channel, on Karen's channel, on Levy's. Like, we're going to be around. So
we try and split it up between the channels as much as we can. We don't always just want it to appear on my channel or just on Cassie's channel or Doof's channel. Like, we do try and like spread the love all over the place. So make sure you're subscribed to all of these channels, guys, because you never know when this is going to happen just on my channel, or when this is going to happen just on Cassie's channel, or Karen's or Levy's. So make sure you're all subscribed and you've all hit that little bell that says that it's going to hopefully alert you when we go live or release an episode or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yep. And in another
Mike B says, I want to play Kahoot. Me too, man. I like playing trivia. So maybe we'll figure out how to do that at some point. Or we'll just rely upon Crow to do it.
Yeah. I was like, Crow.
Yeah, Crow's very good at that.
Yeah.
Jason's channel is Cemetery Road. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. The Cemetery Road.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. but it'll pop up even if you just put Cemetery Road in. And I was telling Jason and Cassie I've resigned my position at my job and I'll look for a new job soon. But in the interim, at the end of January, I'll have a lot of time on my hands to do my gardening and go for long walks, maybe even on the beach with my dog because it's summer here, so that'll be nice. But yeah, and I don't know. No one can kind of message you. It's not like on the Facebook where you can send someone a message, is it? There's no way that someone can send a message to someone on the YouTube, if that makes sense.
No.
Does that make sense? Oh, unless they just do a comment. Because
they can always leave comments. On Instagram, you can always send a message on Instagram to
to
my
Cassie.
Instagram.
Yeah, I don't have Instagram, people. I don't know how to use it.
Yeah, leaving comments works too, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I check comments if anyone makes them. So if anyone needs anything or anything's wrong or the whatever, just message on one of the random whatevers and we'll work it out. But we can try to do a live chat every now and then. It's fun.
Yeah,
it is fun.
And our channels are small enough that, we do see comments. We see all the comments.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Even the rude ones.
Yeah, even the rude ones.
Yeah. But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching and joining in. And I'm glad 14 of you have hung around. It was so random, but so much fun. So
even if one person hangs around, it's worth it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.